Imagine uncovering the secrets of a lost ship that once sailed the seas centuries ago. A ship with a powerful arsenal, now just a memory submerged in the depths. This is the intriguing story of the Gribshunden, a vessel from the 15th century, where the remnants discovered in the Baltic Sea have sparked a fascinating revival in historical firearms research. Diving into the remnants of shipwrecks, explorers often find that the wooden parts decay over time, leaving only the more durable metals behind. However, in the case of the Gribshunden, the sturdy wooden structures have astonishingly survived, even after being submerged for over 530 years. Meanwhile, the wrought iron artifacts, particularly the ship's guns, have mostly deteriorated. Yet, maritime archaeologists from Sweden's Lund University have made remarkable progress by reconstructing these late medieval firearms using the recovered wooden gun beds from the wreck, resulting in weapons vastly different from the artillery typically seen on later naval vessels. The Gribshunden, translating to Griffinhound, was outfitted with at least 50 small-caliber guns. These weapons were designed to fire lead shot with iron cores at close range, specifically aimed to inflict casualties on enemy crews during boarding actions. Of the ship's original artillery, 11 gun beds used for these so-called anti-personnel weapons were salvaged, allowing researchers to digitally reconstruct the lost iron guns. While many other artillery parts remain on the wreck, this effort sheds light on an aggressive aspect of naval confrontation from that era. This flagship served under the Danish-Norwegian King Hans, who is believed to have commissioned its construction near Rotterdam around 1483. By the time it was delivered, in 1486, the royal vessel had cost approximately 8% of Denmark's national budget, a substantial investment indeed. Respected archaeologists described the Gribshunden as a floating castle. The king frequently sailed it to Sweden and around Norway and Denmark. Tragically, the ship sank under mysterious circumstances near Ronneby, Sweden, in 1495, as King Hans was traveling from Copenhagen to a significant meeting in Sweden, where he had ambitions of uniting the Nordic nations. Historical accounts paint a dramatic picture. While the king was on land in Ronneby, a devastating explosion erupted aboard the ship, consuming it with flames. Among the 22 pieces of found lead shot around the wreck, several display signs of having been flattened. This could likely be attributed to them being stored near gunpowder inside the ship's hold during the explosion, causing them to bounce around under the pressure. What makes the Gribshunden even more intriguing is that it is currently the sole known example of a caravel warship from the Age of Exploration, a period marked by the voyages of famed explorers like Christopher Columbus and Vasco da Gama. The similarities between the ship and its artillery and the weapons used by early Spanish and Portuguese explorers provide valuable insights into how these explorers managed their long-distance expeditions to colonize new lands. Renowned maritime archaeologist and lead author Brendan Foley, who collaborated with fellow researcher Martin Hansen and British artillery expert K. Douglas Smith in this study, expresses his passion for the work. Diving on this late medieval royal shipwreck is of course thrilling, he remarks. Yet the true fulfillment comes when we assemble the scattered bits of history, combining Martin's expertise in castles with K's profound knowledge of artillery. The craftspeople aiming to create 3D models of the guns were overseen by Professor Nicolo del Unto, leading a talented team. Despite Denmark's rich Viking heritage and the capability to craft formidable ocean vessels like the Gribshunden, the archaeologists note that the kingdom did not pursue expansion into the Americas during King Hans's reign. Their research suggests that the king was absorbed in stabilizing his control over the Baltic Sea territories and may have felt constrained by a papal decree from 1493 that granted Spain claimed rights to the Americas. This decree was part of a broader treaty transferring control of the Indian Ocean to Portugal, effectively sidelining Danish ambitions in the New World. In a collaborative endeavor that involves institutions like the Bleking Museum, Vikingeskibmuseet, and the municipality of Ronneby, Plans are being made to establish a dedicated museum honoring the Gribshunden's legacy. For those fascinated by marine archaeology, this research has been published in the International Journal of Nautical Archaeology, revealing layers of history waiting to be uncovered. What do you think about the influence of papal decrees on exploration? Should Danish naval power have tried to compete with Spain and Portugal? Let's engage in a discussion in the comments below.